What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports Behind Show. In this video, I want to be continuing doing some power rankings of each NFL division. This video is of the NFC South, so let's go ahead and get started here. Team number 4 to me is the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta was 7-10 last season with first-year head coach Arthur Smith. In the offseason, they traded Matt Ryan to the Indianapolis Colts. Russell Gage left in free agency and went to Tampa Bay. Olu Khan, who had 192 tackles for them last year, left for Jacksonville. They signed Marcus Mariota, which I like that move quite a bit there because when you look at it, Marcus Mariota actually had familiarity with Arthur Smith. They were together at the Titans. It's kind of interesting there. They also drafted Cincinnati Bearcats quarterback Desmond Ridder in the draft back in April. He could possibly be a future starting quarterback for Atlanta. He also kind of reminds me of Mariota quite a bit as well. And he also drafted USC wide receiver Drake London. He's one of the best wide receivers in this draft class. They're going to get a true number one receiver, which I think is good for Atlanta. But to me right now, Atlanta is one of the more question mark teams in the NFL because, they kind of surprised people last season by having 7 wins when their lack of talent last year. Their roster's not quite as good this year, but I think they could still, be around that 6 or 7 win range this upcoming season. The third team here to me in the NFC South power rankings is the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers were 5-12 last season. They started off really, really good. They were started off 3-0, and then the rest of the season they only won 2 games. Their offensive line has been absolutely atrocious these last several years. They signed Austin Corbett, which I think is a great signing there. They drafted Kima Kwanu, a great draft pick there, getting your franchise tackle. They also traded recently for Baker Mayfield. Sam Darnold trade did not really work out for Carolina much. But Mayfield, to me, change of scenery. He has a decent amount of nice weapons. Terrace Marshall Jr., DJ Moore to me, which is extremely underrated receiver, and Christian McCaffrey. If Christian McCaffrey can stay healthy and Mayfield can stay healthy, I think this Panthers team is capable of maybe flirting around 500, depending how their defense is. Christian McCaffrey, he's one of the best running backs in the NFL, but he's only played 10 games this past 2 seasons. He's going to be a big part of the Panthers going to have success or not. Because if he's not on the field, it's going to be hard to imagine to me this Panthers team can get any more than 7 wins. Number 2 in my NFC South power rankings is New Orleans Saints. Last season, the Saints were 9-8. Jameis Winston was 5-2 as the Saints starter until he got hurt and was out for the rest of the season. You go to the Saints team, they have lots of potential. Michael Thomas did not play a single snap last year, and they still won 9 games. To me, it kind of proves, how much this, Saints team potential they really have. Because when you bring Michael Thomas back, you sign Jarvis Landry, and you draft Chris Olave. Some, say he was the best wide receiver coming out of the draft, and this was one of the best draft classes ever for a wide receiver group. You go from no wide receivers at all to a very, very nice wide receiver trio, one of the better ones in the NFL. They signed Marcus May. They drafted Trevor Penning to replace Teron Armstead. Like I said, Winston was much, much, much better than people gave him credit for last year in his 7 starts. And, look at the Saints team. It seems that they always have, the Buccaneers number. Every single time the Saints team plays Brady in the Buccaneers, for whatever reason, Brady in Tampa Bay just tends to struggle. The Saints team, to me, is definitely a team to keep an eye on this year. I think they're definitely going to surprise a lot of people, and I'm very excited to see them this upcoming season. Although I'm really high on the Saints, I'm not high enough to put them number 1 on the NFC South power rankings. That obviously belongs to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay was 13-4 last season, but they did lose a lot of players. They lost O.J. Howard, they lost Rob Gronkowski, they lost Ali Marpet, Alex Kappa, Jordan Whitehead. Those are some big-time players for Tampa Bay that they have to, fill those guys, holes there. So to me, I think Tampa Bay might take a step back. I know they did, sign Russell Gage, and they just signed Julio Jones like a day or so ago. But Julio is nowhere near what he used to be. And when you look at these guys like Ali Marpet was one of the best at his position that he retires. Gronkowski and O.J. Howard both gone. They did sign Kyle Rudolph, but Kyle Rudolph is not better than either one of those guys. So I do think Tampa Bay right now definitely deserves to be number 1 on NFC South power rankings. But I think they're going to take a step back, and I don't think they're going to be quite as good as people think they are this year. But let me know what you think in the comments about my NFC South power rankings as we head into the 2022 season. Number 4 was the Atlanta Falcons. 3 was the Carolina Panthers. 2 was New Orleans Saints. And number 1 was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That about does it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're new to the channel or seen my videos before, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I really, really appreciate it. We'll see you next time on the Sports Behind Show.